welcome back to Recheck with Dr. Pol, the show where we check up on the latest episode of The Incredible Dr. Pol and talk to some special guests. But there is no guest more special than the man himself, the incredible Dr. Pol. Welcome, Dad.
Hey, Charles. Welcome. Yes, good to be here again, and let's do it again.
Dad, we have some special guests here tonight. We're very excited about the world premiere of 50 Ways to Heal Your Heifer. Let's go to Angus and the Milkmaids waiting back in our green room.
Thanks for having us on, Dr. Pol.
We are so excited.
Charles, we couldn't be more ready.
We are going to rock the barn tonight and move and groove.
Don't miss it.
Thanks for being on, Angus. Make sure you stay tuned to the end of the episode to watch the world premiere of 50 Ways to Heal Your Heifer. That was one heck of an episode that aired tonight. Let's take a look at the trailer.
Saturday, as Dr. Pol rushes to the scene of an injured dog.
Hit by a car right here on the road?
Yeah, I think he came across the road in front of her and she got
That's
him.
usually
She
what
slowed
happens.
down.
Everyone pulls together
Let's get the scanner out.
He has some nerve damage going on in his back. A good thing to do for him is get a towel and kind of support his back end.
to get him back on his feet.
Hi, buddy. Come on, bud.
The Incredible Dr. Pol. New episode Saturday at 9 on Nat Geo Wild.
So, Dad, you spend a lot of time working with the counties around our clinic. Claire, Isabella, Montcalm, Macasta,
Gratiot, yes.
Gratiot.
Yeah.
You answer calls from police officers, animal control, all sorts of county operations.
Yes, you know, it's too bad, but animals get hit by cars. And when animals get hurt and they can't move, you know, I want to be there because I hate to see an animal just lay by the side of the road suffering in pain. I have to do what I have to do. Sometimes the outcome is not good, but yes, they can call me and I get called anytime at night sometimes in order to help animals out.
These guys, when they show up, they have a lot of concern, not just for the people, but when they see animals
Yes.
on the
Oh,
scene,
yes.
they have a lot of concern
Yeah.
about that as
Yes,
well.
and that many times that even an officer has brought a dog that got hurt to the clinic. And sometimes we can help them. Sometimes, you know, it's just like the deer that get hit, they cannot make it, but at least, you know, we end their sufferings in a decent way. And I think sometimes that's the only thing we can do.
Dad, tonight we're talking about something you're incredibly passionate about, 4-H. I actually was a member of 4-H my entire childhood. You guys supported me in that. Dad, you're the 4-H vet. How long have you been the 4-H vet for Isabella County?
Well, we are almost here 40 years, and the kids already started right away when we came here. And I was working with 4-H right from the very start.
Except for this year. This year's a
Yes.
little bit different, isn't it?
Yes, I am really disappointed, but this year most fairs are canceled.
The coronavirus outbreak has caused county fairs all over the country to be canceled, leaving 4-H members without a venue to show off their animals that they spend all year raising.
And I think that is so sad because these kids work so hard to get their animals ready for the fair.
I think so too, Dad. That's why we're bringing on a couple of guests tonight. And our first 4-H guest is a local member, 19-year-old Lucie Ullom from Isabella County, Michigan. Welcome, Lucie.
Hi,
How long have you been involved with 4-H?
I've been in 4-H since I was 8 years old.
I see you have some animals with you. Could you introduce your cow to us?
Yeah, this right here is King Brad. He's actually a steer that I raised, and he was born in January. And then this is my heifer that was going to go to the county fair with us with King Brad, and her name is Molly.
There's a lot of work that goes into it. You actually do some training to get those animals tamed. Those aren't any wild beef cows that you and I deal with, are they, Dad?
No, they all started out that way, but these kids work with them. And most of them get to be as tame as pets.
How long does it take to train an animal like that, to get them nice and tame, to be halter broke, to be ready for fair? How many hours do you think you put into that?
I definitely think it depends on each person's breaking method. What I normally do is I'll put a halter on them, and I'll just tie them for maybe minimum 6 hours of a day in fans and keep them cool. And then when I let them go at night, I'll take the halters off and I'll just kind of repeat that for about 4 days. And depending on the cat's temperament, that's when I'll actually start giving them baths and starting to, because I think that water actually calms cattle down a lot more, is when you get them used to a routine every day.
Well, that's fantastic. These are the little things that you learn working with animals that you can't pick up out of a book. These are experience, they're life experiences. And this was going to be a special year for you, Lucie. Can you tell us what this year was supposed to be?
Yeah, this was actually supposed to be my last year of 4-H. So this is going to be my last time walking in the ring as a senior at the county fair and getting to sell my livestock and getting to show off what I've been working on all year.
That stinks, doesn't it, Dad?
Yeah, it does. Because, like I said, it's amazing how many hours these kids spend with their animals. And there are buyers at the fair that appreciate all this work, and they most of the time get extra money for selling their animals. And that is all over now.
Yeah, and they can use that money in a number of different ways, including to help themselves out with college. So it's a real disappointment. Thank you for coming on the show, Lucie, and good luck with your animals. And thank you for your dedication. And we hope to see you at the fair again. Like I said, just because it's your last year, we hope that you continue on with 4-H. It's a great program. Thank you for coming on tonight.
Yes, thank you, Lucie. Good luck.
Thank you.
Next up, we have a guest from the Michigan 4-H program to talk about how coronavirus has affected 4-H members far and wide. Welcome, Jacob DeDecker, State Leader of Michigan 4-H Youth and Development. Thanks for being with us, Jake.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Jake, could you tell me about your role with the Michigan 4-H program?
Yeah, it's my privilege to be the state leader for Michigan State University Extension 4-H. So I get to help lead our program here in 4-H, which is a blessing personally because I grew up in 4-H in Illinois. So being able to give back to the program that's helped develop me is indeed a blessing.
We just spoke to a young woman named Lucie Ullom from Isabella County, Michigan, who shared her story about not being able to show her animals at the fair. How many county fairs have been canceled in Michigan?
Most of them. There's only a handful left remaining in the state of Michigan. Most have had to cancel or significantly modify their operations, and that's true throughout the nation.
Right, and county fair is a really big deal for the 4-H. And we heard now about other fairs that have a one-day show where not many people come together. And, can you tell me about what the kids have learned in 4-H, even now with this corona?
Yeah, it's a great question. And it really brings up the fact that you had mentioned earlier about some of the life skills that our young people learn. And right now, during times like this, leadership, communication, perseverance, all really come through in different dynamic ways. So yes, fairs are an important stage for our 4-Hers in many ways. And so when we don't have that stage, we look for opportunities on how we can create other areas to highlight our young people, showcase their skills, what they've learned, all the hard work they've had in their projects, and how they can still receive good feedback and be accomplished or being acknowledged for all the accomplishments that they've had throughout the year.
We've been talking a lot about the benefits of 4-H and all the projects, all the things that the kids do, what it does for them, and also about how coronavirus has affected 4-H. But there are probably viewers at home who may want to help. What is the best way for them to help? How can they help? And, what are the different options? Maybe I know money is a possibility, but also is there volunteering opportunities?
Oh, great. Yes, there's lots of opportunities to volunteer and to give back to young people. That's probably the best way that people can donate their time to support young people throughout the state is just becoming a 4-H volunteer. Here in the state of Michigan with our virtual showcase, there's still youth that are auctioning off their static projects and their livestock projects. So if they're interested in purchasing a project from a young person, there's a website that we can provide. They go to, they can purchase that animal, put meat in their own freezer, or donate that to a food bank. That's a great way to help support young people. If you have a question in which you want to do something locally, reach out to your county 4-H program, get in contact with that served person. They can help you out.
It really does take a community to put on a fair.
Absolutely. And we've seen that in virtual spaces. So we've seen people come forth and support in all new ways. So while it isn't the same experience, it's wonderful to see the community come together and still show that they care.
So the main thing is for people that still want to help out the kids to reach out to the extension office and go and see what kids they can help through. Yeah, virtually either buying their animals or something like that, right, Jake?
Correct. Either purchase static projects or the livestock through the livestock projects through their auctions, or become a volunteer. As you said, that's the best way to give back and serve and help lead and develop the next generation of our 4-H leaders.
Well, thank you so much for coming on tonight, Jake. We really appreciate it. All the work that you guys do over there at 4-H, we think it builds leaders in the future, don't we, Dad?
Yes, definitely. Like I said, the experience that they have is never taken away from these kids. And that's why, you were in 4-H and we support 4-H for I don't know how many years already. Thank you, Jake.
All right, thank you. And Dr. Pol, thank you so much. I know you've been a big supporter of 4-H for many years. And as an animal science person myself, it's finally a chance to see you virtually and get to say thanks. So, yeah.
Well, thank you, sir.
Next up, we have Pol Veterinary Services' second most senior vet, a woman who needs no introduction, the amazing Dr. Brenda. Welcome to Recheck, Dr. Brenda. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for asking me, Charles.
On last week's episode, the clinic was short-staffed, and it was just like old times. Just Dr. Pol and Dr. Brenda holding down the floor where all the other vets were away. Dr. Brenda, when you're in those situations where it's just you and Dr. Pol, that's something that's very familiar. You guys are used to working with each other like that.
That's right. We've worked together for quite a number of years, sometimes with help, sometimes just the two of us.
Basically, don't forget, Brenda was born and raised on the dairy farm. So she knows what's going on the dairy farm, and she can do all the things herself, really.
Dr. Brenda, speaking of growing up in a dairy farm, can you tell us a little bit about the farm where you grew up and what it was like to grow up on a dairy farm?
So you have to remember that I grew up on a dairy farm, so I don't know growing up anyplace else different. We had a small family dairy. My folks milked Holstein and Holstein cross cattle for about 40 years. They have sold the cows in the last couple of years. The cows have been gone, but we've milked cows and had cattle of some sort there pretty much the whole time my parents have owned the farm. So, there was always chores to do. There's always milking to do. There's always just things to do, and all around, everything revolved around the cattle. So cattle came first, then the rest of us.
So, Dr. Brenda, obviously, I can see that you have some steers behind you. You have a couple of steers, and in the past, you've trained them actually as oxen to pull things. Was that kind of influence that, did 4-H have an influence on you wanting to do the training with the oxen and the steers?
I think that 4-H, just the working with cattle and being involved with cattle and having the 4-H commitments and some of the things that I learned through 4-H certainly made me want to have cattle. But with my job as a veterinarian, milking cows on top of that was not going to be a feasible option. The 3 boys that I have now are all from mom and dad's dairy herd. So these are all sons of cows that we've had forever. So that's kind of cool that we've been able to keep them around. And then, you have to justify why you've got cattle. And so my justification for keeping the steers is they had to have a job, and being an oxen was going to be their job. Unfortunately, they're not super good at their job, and that's probably my fail because I don't have enough time to spend with their training and keeping up with them. But it does keep me busy, and there's some happiness for me just having them out in the backyard, to have them just hanging out in the backyard, be able to use them a little bit, to drive them a little bit. I still go to an open class ox show down in my hometown or my hometown area when they have the fairs. Unfortunately, this year it got canceled due to the COVID reasons.
Dad, you grew up on a dairy farm yourself, and so did Dr. Brenda. Do you think growing up around animals at a young age helps somebody become a veterinarian later on in life? It makes it easier?
It really doesn't help them to become a veterinarian. I think it helps them become a better veterinarian because when you grow up with animals, you learn about animals. And I think that's very important. 4-H has a lot to do with that, of course, but also being raised on the dairy farm, where you learn to understand animals, see what animals want, what animals need, and what animals can do to you.
Dr. Brenda, it's my understanding you have quite the cow figurine collection. When did you start collecting cow figurines? Was it right about the time you got steers, or have you been collecting it for a long time?
So I collected them pretty much my whole life. Not as much when I was younger, a little bit more now. Probably sort of those years before I actually had the live cattle, I had a little bit more cow figurines. They're a little bit easier to care for. You dust them once in a while, and that's about all you need to do for them. And you don't have to clean up any manure from them, so that's a bonus too. But there are some good benefits to having the warm, live, fuzzy bodies here to take care of. They can be frustrating, but they provide a lot of comfort also.
Yes.
Yeah, animals do really help you out, no matter what type of animal that you have. Could you introduce us to your 3 cows and tell us their names and talk a little bit about them and their personalities? Because cows have personalities too, right? Like they're very unique.
Right. So the steers here, I'm going to turn so I'm looking at them with you. So to my left is Reed, and he is the youngest one. The black one here in the front facing us with the white face is Kirby. He thinks he's king of the world. And then behind him, which you can't see right now because he's covering him up, is my old steer, Zeter, and Zeter will be 11 this year. So he also thinks he's king of the world. That gives us some problems some days.
Well, that's fantastic, Brenda. Thank you so much for introducing us to your steers. What do you love most about working with them and having cows?
So having the steers is just, like I said, it's a comfort to me because it's as close as I can get to having cattle all the time. I don't have the facilities here where I live to keep them year round. So they come for the summer and stay with me for the summer. So I work them here, just having them, just watching them do their thing and watching them work like I'm asking them to work, be able to do the obstacle course routines we're trying to get them to do. When we have wind days and we're on and we're doing really well, that's pretty exciting for me.
Well, Dr. Brenda, thank you so much for joining us. You are probably the fan favorite. We've had more requests to have you on the show than anybody else. So thank you for being with us today. Thank you for showing us your cattle. And I had a note from you as well that while you love your cow figurines, that you do have enough. So you're not looking for people to send you a whole bunch more cow figurines, right?
Right. I live in a little tiny house. There won't be room for me in there if we get too many more cow figurines in there.
We really appreciate having you on, Brenda. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
Yep. See you Monday.
Right, thanks for having me. Bye.
And now, Angus and the Milkmaid.
The problem is all inside your cow, Doc said to me. The cure is easy if we take it logically. I'd like to help you to avoid an autopsy. There must be 50 ways to heal your heifer. Doc said,
Jeepers!
I'm on my way to check her temp. Furthermore, I need to look her over for a lump or a limp. But don't you worry now, this is easy as a cinch. There must be 50 ways to heal your heifer. 50 ways to heal your heifer. You need to give her a pill, Jill. She needs an IV, Bree. Check her poos too, better you than me. Inject her leg peg. How's her peeling? Give her a shot, Scott. About 9 cc. Ooh, crack her back, Jack. Milk out her teat, Pete. Have you lost your marbles, Charles? Just listen to me.
Have you lost your marbles, Charles?
Does she fart? Art. Check her tail down. Don't make a fuss, Russ. Just let the cow go free. next time.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Thank you.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you.